I'm Joan of Angels, and I'm so happy to be here. Can we shut the door, please? I'm just so happy to see you all. So who here has ever heard of me, by the way? Right, okay. Who here has always gone like, why would someone call themselves Joan of Angels, right? Like, why would she call herself Joan of Angels? So I'm here to tell you why. I'm here to talk to you about being your true self, your authentic, true self. Not the self your mother wanted you to be, or your father wanted you to be, or your husband or your wife, or your teachers, but the real self that you came in with, your soul self. So we're going to activate that self of yours today, which in many cases we've neglected, because here we are living on a 3D planet, right? Who lives on the 3D planet here with me, right? We're all here on planet Earth, and we live down here, and life is distracting. Life on this planet is not easy, and we all have to go through a process navigating this planet in order to live our best life. It's not handed to you on a silver platter, right? Who here has noticed that? Yeah. Right? Ain't handed to you on a silver platter. You have to work your life, or your life will work you, with or without you. And if you let it go by default, who do you think wins, right? Right? That unseen force wins. So I'm here to talk to you about your true self and why you're here on the planet, so you can leave this room activated, awakened, and really know from the bottom of your heart that you have a purpose for being here. So I'm going to start this presentation by, my guides are telling me this, to give you a new name for me. So I'm Joan of Angels, and I'm also known as the Badass Angel, right? And the reason I got known as the Badass Angel is that I discovered I have a secret gift, and I'm going to teach that, but not today, in my Badass Angel program, but which I just was told to create for all of you who need to learn how to speak your truth and become your own Badass Angel. What's a Badass Angel? A Badass Angel is one who can see the future in a certain way and know that that's a bad path. Like, I ain't gonna go down that path because that's a bad one. And you say no to it because you see it ahead of time. All right, now that's a difficult role to take because the rest of the world really doesn't want to acknowledge that bad things could happen or that things could go astray. So there you have to be a lone wolf and actually stand up for your beliefs. So how do we actually find out what those beliefs are when they've been so distorted by the rest of society? So I got named the Badass Angel because I took a whole group of people to Egypt this year. I took 2 tours to Egypt. And on one of the trips, there was a person that we realized could not be on the trip. Now, I realized it, and I raised my hand, and I said, hey, guys, this is going to be difficult if we bring this person here. Now, the guys, who I love and adore, don't have the same boundaries I have, and they don't have precognition to see the future, which is really common sense. You know, if you see someone's acting weird today, and they acted weird yesterday, the possibility that they're going to be weird tomorrow. So it actually didn't take a psychic, all right? It was really, and excuse me, I've been losing my voice here, so I'm going to find my voice by the end of today. Okay, so I was the one who had to make that phone call and say, you can't come. We're talking about very expensive trips, $7,000 with plane fare. I have to call the person and tell him he can't come. We know he has a little bit of a temper, too. And I'm shy. I am so shy. But the guys couldn't make that call, like within them, to have boundaries. So what's another clue? Boundaries. So you don't have to know who you are, even, to have boundaries. So I made the phone call, and my partner's staging me all over the place, you know. And then he told me later, he said, I used 4 different kinds of sage, Joe. I hope you noticed. I didn't notice. They all smelled the same. So he says to me, it was great. So I make the phone call, and I hang up, and I suddenly, it was impromptu, I never expected to do this, I scream, I'm a BAA. And there were a couple of people in the room, and they go, well, what's a BAA? And I said, I'm a Badass Angel. And ever since then, I've been resonating with this concept of being a badass angel. And I share this with you because our concepts of who we are actually are liquid. You know, it could be today I'm a badass angel, tomorrow I could be, you know, a demon. I don't know. Whatever you decide, you can change. But the fluidity has to do with who you really are and the nature of who you are. So anyway, when I was driving here the other day as I was packing, honestly, it was Wednesday. I left on Thursday. On Wednesday, I get this message right here. Says, well, you really ought to offer a Badass Angel workshop. And so I started to create this Badass Angel workshop. It's going to be March 20th. But then they said, I heard it, Badass Angel Academy. Who likes that name, right? Yeah. So I'm here to announce that I'm going to be launching my new show, Badass Angel Academy, on my YouTube channel, which is Joan of Angels, okay? Everything's Joan of Angels. I tell you this because every time you guys come to programs like that, you too goes through an energetic upgrade. And I want to be part of your energetic upgrade. Now let's talk about why we don't know who we are, because that's very, very important. Number one, we're going to go back even further. I do believe we all come down here for a purpose. Who believes we come down here for a purpose? Everyone in the room believes that. Okay, I like that. Perfect. I didn't see the hands that didn't raise, so I have no idea. I think it's 100%. I wear glasses, and you notice I'm not wearing them, so it makes sense. All right, so, and I infuse my talks with a lot of humor, because this world is too serious for most of us. You got to have a sense of humor about all your foibles. And I tell you about my foibles, so I'm transparent. I am not a perfect Joan of Angels, and I don't expect to be. So we come down here, we volunteer to come down, most of us. Why? Because we knew that Earth needed people like us. We haven't talked about like us means, but people like us. There was a call that went out for volunteers, and many of us raised our hand up in those other realms and said, yes, I want to go. Yes. Now I want you to know that just because you raised your hand and you volunteered, you weren't chosen necessarily. But if you're here now, it's because you were accepted into this program coming down to the Earth and agreeing energetically to assist on the planet in some way, shape, or form. It could be a little thing. It could be you came down here to be a nice person, which would raise the vibration all around you. It doesn't have to be a huge mission. So we all come down with this mission and purpose, but, and we come down, we have all the skills we need. Honestly, when we come down, they make sure you're going to have your whole life plan out there. It's on a clipboard. It's got your name on it, right? And all these things, all your skills, all your talents. And you're born here on this planet, and the first thing that happens, there's 2 seats right here, but you can't see me. There's 2 seats over here. There's seats over there. Okay? No, I wouldn't put anyone over there because they face the wall and I'm cuter than the wall. I don't know what I'm doing today. All right, so here we are. We're down here on the planet. And newborn baby. We got this toolkit in our consciousness. Our higher self knows what we're here to do. And we wake up to this planet where our memories are wiped clean. For most of us, your memories are wiped clean, which is crazy. Like, how are you supposed to access your mission if it's kept over here and you don't know how to get to it? Not only is it that way, but they changed the rules down here. So the last time you were here, the rules were far different than this time. So now you come down and you can't access what you're here to do. The rules have changed, so you don't, even the timelines have changed down here. So, but that's part of the game. Why? Because I kind of have come to this new kind of revelation about, the dark and the light. So the light side knows, they say, oh, another light worker has been born. Great, we're going to celebrate that. On the other hand, the other side knows, another light worker has been born. We're going to make sure they don't fulfill their destiny. We are going to make sure that they don't ever find out that they are a soul in a human body, that they are greater than their human body, that they have this most amazing potential, that they are divine, that they are beautiful, godlike beings with tremendous potential. No, they'll never know that because we're not going to let them know that. We are going to send every force against them to keep you from knowing who you are. It starts on day one. It could start in your family. Maybe you have bad family, difficult family life, which so many people have had. Well, some people never heal that trauma, and they go into their future carrying like luggage, like this huge wheelbarrow. Like, I'm going to take all this crappy childhood I had, and I'm going to keep it with me all adulthood. So some people do that. And it's so heavy that they can't even see that they have a great purpose or a great mission in this life. Does this make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so these challenges come, and I call them these agents come, and they come in the form of our parents, if we have difficult parents or difficult childhood, or maybe they can come in the form of a priest or a form of a teacher, but people who don't watch out for us. Dark things happening to us, or, difficulties, illness, disease, losing your parents early. All of those are actually designed to either take you out of the game or make you stronger. It's either or, honestly. It's either you really, at some point, have you can't get up and continue on because it's just way too much, so you're going to surrender to that darker energy, or you're going to surrender to not living up to your light, not living up to your true potential. And you probably all know people like that. What else takes us out of the game? Drugs, alcohol, violence. So all of that is designed to keep you, the light workers, the soul carriers, these divine beings, these divine humans. It's designed to keep you away from your divine self, from knowing the truth about who you are. So I'm here to tell you that you were born for a reason. First reason you were born is to remember, is to start to get that you've been part of this game of life, and this game of life is designed as an illusion to distract you, to have your 3D chaos more present than the inner calm. Because everything that happens on the outside world gets processed in the inner world, and it's how you process it. There's a seat right here. It's how you learn to take those bad experiences. Like, take me, for example. I talk about this all the time. I had a bad-tempered dad, and I was terrified of him. I lived in my closet as often as I could. I swear, I put my pillow, my blanket, my little, stuffed animals. And when I grew up, anytime I was really traumatized, I'd basically go sit in a closet, or I'd lock my door and not come out. And when I started coming out and doing shows, I literally had to talk to myself every time I did it. Like, no, Joan, your purpose is to get out and do this. Don't succumb to that other side that says, I'm safer not being seen. Anyone here ever not want to be seen? Right? Am I the only one? So this not being seen runs us. It's our little self that remembers all the bad things that happen to us, all the times you might have been told, you'll never get ahead, you'll never do it. Listen, my mom and dad told, my mom and my brother, when I was 12 or 13, said, Joan, make sure you never become an artist. I don't know, has anyone walked by my art? They said you should become a bookkeeper. And so all my life I thought I had no talent and that I should be a bookkeeper. Well, just so you know, you never want to hire me to do your books. Because I don't do my books well for myself, honestly. And here I am, an artist. So if you listen to those people who think they know what you're here to do, you're wrong. The only one who's going to know what you're here to do is a deep dive within yourself to start to listen. Because the game is against you in a certain way. Your memory is wiped clean when you get here. You didn't come here remembering your last life. Most of us don't. We have to regain those memories. So as we're in this process of regaining our memories of who we are, we have to learn to let go of all that negative stuff that came with it. So I had to let go of my father. I had to put him in that wheelbarrow and say, you're done. And as a matter of fact, it wasn't until he died that I was able to go on and become a chiropractor and actually have a successful life, because that power was too overwhelming. And so that's kind of the story of how I began to find myself, was by beginning to cut away all the negative people out of my life. I call them miracle busters. What's a miracle buster? A miracle buster is one who you are all excited about your vision. You wake up and you go, I got a great idea. Like badass angel, right? Well, the good news is I didn't call anyone to tell them. Because I can see myself calling. I sat there and I said, oh my God, I'm so excited, I got to call someone, right? I said, well, you can't call your sister because she poo-poos everything. And so what was an exciting idea, if I called my sister, would become the most depressing thing I'd ever heard of. And then I'd be left after the phone call wondering, what in the world was I thinking? And how could I dare do that? How could I dare dream the impossible? So you have these impossible dreams that they're really not impossible. They're really more your visions and what your higher self has been telling you about who you are and what you're here to do. And then we happen to listen to a human who thinks they know better than you. So one thing I will say is we keep our private thoughts private, our dreams, we keep them to ourselves so that we don't encounter a miracle buster that takes your idea off the table before you even, the day is out. You know, it's like, so we build up, we learn, and I'm going to suggest that you start to learn to identify who in your life supports you and who in your life you can't tell your secrets to. And I know you say, oh, that's my sister, I should be able to tell her everything. Well, that's not necessarily true for everyone. So we need to say in our life, who's our ally, who's our miracle ally, and who's our miracle buster. So we get clues about how we can begin to navigate. Now there's other clues we get in this particular part of the process. It's like, I call it discernment, the discernment scale. And I'm going to teach you all how to do that so you can be on the same wavelength, so you have the power to start to determine it. And then we'll get back to the next part of this story, okay? So take a deep breath with me and let it out. Good. And then one more time. In and out. Good. Now this time I want you to take a deep breath in, and I want you to imagine bringing in a beam of light from the heavens down to the top of your crown, tingling and activating that crown, sending energy through your spine and going down, down, down through the balls of your feet, all the way into the center of the earth. Good. Good, and this time I want you to bring the energy up from the center of the earth, through your feet, through your heart, through your crown chakra, all the way back up to the heavens. And then let's just do one more time. Let's imagine now all that celestial energy is coming right down to the top of your head. Anyone feel tingling? All right, anyone feel that tingling? Go like this. Raise your hand if you're feeling a little tingling. Good, good. That's waking up, this crown chakra, waking up your connection to the other realms here. So as we keep breathing, now, I want you to imagine to yourself, what if I really knew what I was here to do? How would it feel if I woke up every day, leaping out of bed, ready to leap over tall buildings in a single bound? Because I know what I'm here to do. What would it be like? Imagine that you start waking up every day with a sense of, I know what I'm here to do today. And notice I say today. You don't have to know what you're here to do tomorrow yet. But you do need to know, what am I here to do today? So we go back to the present moment. So imagine waking up, leaping out of bed, ready to leap over these tall buildings and knowing what you're here to do. And knowing that your life has meaning. So as we bring that energies down and feeling it infuse us, understand that these energies also know what you're here to do. They know what your skills and talents are. The only one who may not know it is you yet. So we're waking you up. So I want you to think back to when you were a child. Everything is simpler when we're children. And you're back in your childhood, and when you start to think about who you are, think about the things you like to do. What were the most fun things you wanted to do? Now, when I was a child, I remember the Frosted Flakes commercial or the Cheerios. But it was like, when I grow up, I want to be a fireman. Everyone knows they eat Cheerios. But it was something repeated over and over again. But what did you dream about doing and being as a child? She's smiling, so I can feel a good energy from that. But I want you to start remembering, because it's your dreams and who you were as a child sometimes that holds the key to who you are today. And so we put those dreams aside when we get older, because life is serious here on the 3D planet. takes a lot of work. So we're activating, reminding you of those visions. Mwah. Seeing old friends right there. Yeah. Good. And doesn't that feel good, kind of thinking about that? Now, so we come down here to the planet. We kind of have this mission, but we don't know. We encounter obstacles. But I want you to understand here, you came here to remember who you are, number one. You came here to learn how to hold your light and your vibrational frequency, number two. So how do we do that? We do that, and especially if we can't remember yet, we do that by understanding, and I'm going to teach you how we start to raise our light and become that true light worker. Now, starseeds, who here thinks they're a starseed? Raise your hand. Okay, who here thinks they're a light worker? Who here doesn't even care? Right? Okay, but many of us, and many of you that are here, who feel that they're connected to other realms, or who feel like they're a light worker or a starseed, many of you came down here to be what they call a disruptor in the system, a virus in the system, a do not comply person in the system. And that's about all we're going to say about that right now. Although I took a domain name, donotcomply.live. Haven't done anything with it yet. But yeah, some of us came down to be disruptors, to be viruses in the system. And the funny part about it is that when Corona first came out, when it first was released in 2020, Corona means light. I thought this was a hoot. Corona means radiant one. It's like a crown, you know, like the kings have a crown, and then you see all this light coming out of their head, or the angels. That's a corona. So this virus was actually called a light. It was light. And what was it doing? It was going viral. So anytime I heard the word, the COVID word, I would transmute it in my head, because why not, and talk about corona and light going viral. And that's an important difference. You feel the energy shift. We talk about, isn't that crazy? They named a disease that was going to take out the whole planet, and they named it light going viral. Now notice they changed it. I don't know if they actually looked up what it meant, but they changed it, and it became, you know, a dark thing going viral, but it began as light going viral. And you guys are light that can go viral also, if we turn up your light and your power and your desire to do that. And that's my job. So one thing I learned recently, and I want to talk to you about, is starting to love your true self. Now, again, you don't have to know what you're going to do tomorrow, honestly, to get this. So I had a dear friend that came over, and she says to me, she says, whenever I say your name, Joan, I want you to also say your name, Joan, but sing it. So she was doing this whole thing, you know, she was doing a reading for me, and she'd say, and Joan, and then she expected me to go, Joan. I'm not going to put this on the recording. Joan. And so we're doing this session. She's mentioning my name all through the session, and I'm going, Joan. And then she starts telling me to chant my name. Joan, 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 Joan. So the energy, my energy, started completely shifting. And now when I'm in the car, I start chanting my own name. Crazy, but it works. It works. What's your name?
Richard.
Are you game? If I go Richard?
You want me to sing my name?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Richard. Beautiful, beautiful. All right, my friend back there, what's your name?
Anthony.
Anthony, are you ready?
Yep. Anthony.
All right, have another volunteer. Come on, you don't have to have a good voice. Listen, I have a terrible voice. All right, you in purple. Tony. And she actually she volunteered.
Evelyn.
What is it?
Evelyn.
Evelyn, that's right. All right, one more. Carolyn, all right. Now, but the important part is, how does it make you feel when you sing your name? Right? Well, most of you didn't. 95% of you didn't sing your name yet. So how would you know? So now I'm going to have you all sing your name simultaneously with me, and he's going to catch it on camera. So, Joan. Whoa. All right, this was only a theory until a minute ago. I want to do it again. All right, isn't that sound great? Whoa, Joan. Whoa.
Your name or our name?
Your name. Well, it sounded pretty good. Okay. I like that. Okay, but no. You are to sing your own name. You are to, if you take one thing out of this class today, is that it's time for you to sing your own song. It is time for you to start singing your own name. So, and when you're in the car, it's a good time to do this with no one else around. I'm spitting now. I can't be embarrassed about anything anymore, so. Once I had this psychic, he says, oh yeah, you go up on stage and the reason people like you is you tell them all about the things you do wrong and they think it's cute. So, they learn from your experiences. So, we're gonna do it one more time. You're gonna sing your name and we'll extend it as long as we can as if it was an Om kind of chant, because I want you to feel the magic and beauty of your soul that was named this being, or this being that has this name. You ready? 1, 2, 3. Whoa. 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 Give yourself a deep breath. Okay. Now, did that feel good? Yeah. Did that feel really good? Yeah. It's like coming home to yourself. So, you know, I've been a chiropractor for over 40 years, and the thing that I learned the most from being a chiropractor is that we have to turn on our energy. We actually have to literally turn up our power so that we can even feel good about ourselves and do our work, or even come to know what our work is. You gotta have that juicy, good feeling that I love myself in order to be brave, courageous, and bold, or to be a badass angel, by the way. Tying it all together. You have to learn to feel good about yourself. So looking in the mirror and singing your name is a way of letting everyone know you love yourself. It's a way of reconnecting, and the singing actually moves your energy, right? Didn't you feel that? It kind of moved my energy, but I was here. But as we move this energy, it's all in vibration. It's all about learning to move your energy and getting out of a stuck position. So when you start this toning of your name, you can literally sort of feel the energy coming through you. And what does it do? It comes from above down here. In chiropractic, we used to learn that they called it innate intelligence in chiropractic, and that if your innate intelligence was not connected to the rest of your body or your brain, your function and your frequency would be very low. That causes disease. So we have to turn up your frequency so that the flow can continue. So and go up and down so that we can start to send energy to every single part of our body. So for instance, we could start to wake up our eyes. Put your hands on your eyes. Feel this energy coming down through your eyes, going down through your face, through your voice, to your throat. Feel the energy starting to go at the top of your shoulders and going down your arm, and start wiggling your fingers. When's the last time you told your fingers how much you love them and how beautiful they really are? Now I know we lose this body when we leave the planet, but right now you got 5 fingers if you're lucky. Wiggle them, wake them up. I appreciate you for all the things you carry for me. Your right hand, I appreciate you. And so start feeling this energy. And then start feeling it in here. I want you to start tapping your sternum here, your glands here, you start waking it up. I love you, I love me. Go down to your heart. I love you, heart. You are a great heart. In fact, you beat every day. When's the last time you told your heart how much you appreciated your heart? Ever? Right? We take it for granted. I don't want you to take yourself for granted. I don't want you to take these parts of you because they're working perfectly without your instruction. Because they have an instruction to keep going. What about your lungs? Thanking your lungs. Having gone through that whole coronavirus event, notice it's coronavirus event, our lungs and our hearts are really important. And we all made it through that really difficult time. So we want to love ourselves for our body working well enough to get us through these hard times, right? That some people didn't make it through. So this gratitude and this feeling of our body and how it's working, I want you to thank your heart and your lungs for still beating, for still breathing, for still being present with you, without you having to know what you're here to do, right? Because it does it automatically. But this appreciation, what about your digestive organs? Oh my God, mine are working overtime, just so you know. And thank you. Thank you for always taking whatever I eat and processing it. Like, that is another miracle, just so you know. That happens with or without you. And so we can talk to our body and thank it. Then your hips and your toes. Wiggle your toes. Now your toes carry you. Your feet carry you. When's the last time you said, thank you, feet? You did a great job. You have taken me around the world. Or at least, from your house to the Conscious Life Expo. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, knees, for doing your work. Thank you, brain, for working. So thanking these parts of our body help to wake them up, right? Help to activate them. Now, how do we know how we're doing? And how do we know how to turn our energy on? So I'm going to have you close your eyes again, and I want you to imagine a horizontal line right in front of you. And on the left is 0, on the right is 10, and it's like a clock hand. It goes from 0 to 10, straight up and down is neutral. So on a scale of 1 to 10, and usually it's the first thing that pops in your mind. It's not the one you clean up, it's the first one. So on a scale of 1 to 10, let's ask, okay, what is my vitality? On a scale of 1 to 10, my vitality, my energy. So we ask what our energy is on a scale of 1 to 10, and raise your hand if it's on a 0 to 5. You can be honest, because no one can see you. And raise it from 5 to 7. Who's like a 5 to 7? And who is an 8 to 10? Okay, so there's sort of more in the middle, which is the way it usually is. And yeah. All right, so 0 to 5 is on the lower side. 5 is sort of more neutral. 5 to 7 is come see, come saw. 8 to 10 is full on getting ready to do your work. Now, a very simplistic way to deal with this, and so the way I use this discernment scale is I've used it to develop what I call my precognition, my ability to see if things are going to go wrong or right. And trust me, I learned the hard way by ignoring what I saw, so now I'm teaching that. But when you look in the future, you could say, let's do a little practice session. On a scale of 1 to 10, close your eyes. It's always easier to do it with your eyes closed. On a scale of 1 to 10, how much will I enjoy that next speaker I'm going to go hear? And whichever one, I didn't say myself, but the next one I'm going to go hear, and notice what you got. Did you get a 0 to 5, like I'm going because I have to, or 5 to, or I think I have to, or 5 to 7, or an 8 to 10. And you start to notice that, that doesn't feel right. Or you go on a scale of 1 to 10, how does it feel to hang out with so-and-so? And you can sort of, how am I left feeling by the end of that meeting? Because then you start to realize, gosh, I feel drained whenever I'm with that person. And that's a good clue, right? you just notice that whenever, and then you could go hang out with them, and when you notice you're drained, you go, oh, I was right. I'm drained. But confirmations for us humans is very important. When I do readings for people, because I do a lot of readings, I always look for confirmations that I'm on the right path. And I look for them like in everything I do. So when I do the discernment scale for myself, I get to see how things are going to go for me. And if it gets like if I get a 0 to 3, I actually put out to the universe that I'm not going to go. Or I say, if it's not for my highest good, make sure it doesn't happen. And then it doesn't happen. So that also is very, very interesting. So you can start to take charge of your energy about things and start to avoid going to places that don't make you feel good. And that's the point of it, right? You want to learn how to avoid situations that put you in a lower frequency, that make you feel bad about yourself. Okay, let's sing your name again. I feel the vibrations here. Joan. That's so beautiful. If you were up here and you heard yourself, it's like I'm listening to the Om chants on YouTube. And I'm hearing it right here. I'm going, wow, look what they're doing. Yeah, we're waking up yourself. So what are you here to do? Well, you're here to start to remember that you're more than just your 3D selves, that you're here for a reason. And one of those reasons is to start to carry your light and become a carrier of light, to raise your vibrational frequency. Why? Why does it matter to me if you raise your vibratory frequency? Well, I'm going to tell you why it matters. It matters because every person's frequency connects to the whole collective. And if your frequency is low, it doesn't matter how high my frequency is, the frequencies sort of go down to the lowest level until you learn how to keep your frequency up no matter what. Now, some high frequency beings have the ability to raise the frequency. So when you get to be a 10, 9 and 10, your frequency you'll walk in a room and people will go, wow, whoa, I feel that. My energy has just gone through a complete shift because I'm in that person's presence. We can feel it sometimes, and that is very exciting. Other people walk in a room and they're flat. Now, I believe that all of us in this room have that ability to raise your light frequency. You want to try it with me?
Yeah.
Good, because that's the other reason why we're here. The more people raise their vibratory frequency, the more people are going to step into more of a miraculous state where miracles happen, where good things happen. Where good things happen not just for you and you, but good things happen for the people around us because it spreads. It spreads. I tell the story of the miracle seeds that came down from the heavens. A boy sent them down here, it doesn't matter, but it ended up in the water. And so the cows drink the water. We use that water for the soil to feed our vegetables, and before you know it, these miracle seeds keep being spread. So we can call it light seeds, miracle seeds, happiness seeds. You have a seed of some kind that you could spread. Now, you could spread good seeds or bad seeds. Who wants to spread the good seeds? Back there. Good seeds, seeds that help the planet, because we're all nurturers of other souls. We're nurturers of our soul. We're nurturers of other souls. So let's go back to that exercise, because I want to stay on time. I want you to send your roots down to the center of the earth. You can close your eyes. And send your antenna up to the heavens. Good, 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 good. Now, I want you to imagine this light going up and down. So we're going to bring that light down through your crown, all the way down to the center of the earth. And then we're going to bring that light up like it's a big antenna. And then we're going to keep our eyes closed and we're going to imagine. I want you to see the planet Earth. Whether you see it round or flat, doesn't matter. See the planet. And I want you to see that above different places you might see light. There are other people carrying this light all around the planet. And if we're up above looking down, we can actually see light all around the planet. So what would happen if we collectively, all of you, start to work with me and we send our light out and we start connecting with all this light around the planet. Like a grid, like a light grid above the planet. All the way up there, above the planet. And my light and our light connects to someone in Australia, connects to this other light worker in Austria, and one in South America, and 20 over there, and Africa. And these light beams start to connect and start to slowly not only raise your light, is that 5 or 10? I can't, 5, okay. Slowly start to raise that light. That is how we begin to connect around the planet, spreading miracle seeds that can start changing what is happening on the face of the planet. It can diffuse war. It can diffuse hunger. It can break all boundaries. It could work for unity. Because if there's one thing we can all agree on is that the planet is a mess, and that, all the sides can agree that there's something messy that's been happening here. Our job is just to raise that light. And if you raise your own light and your own energy and your own frequency, we can do this together. Now, I start off by telling you I'm a badass angel, and I started to tell you why. I do have a class coming up March 20th, and if you sign up on my website at joanofangels.com, I'll be sending an email out about it when I get home. So you can take out your phones and do it right now. That way you'll be sure to get that email. Who wants to be a badass angel? Let's see. Right? Okay, good. So that's the first thing. It's the Badass Angel class. The second thing I want to do is tell you about why I do art. So I heard those voices that told me to paint 33 angels in 30 days. They also told me that I was to become a paintbrush for the divine, and that humans, us, would be able to know who we are. I obviously don't. It probably looked good. But, okay, when I started painting the angels, I used to paint upside down with my eyes closed, so I didn't actually care what it looked like. But in the interest of this, well, this is Poseidon, but the energy of the painting is what's important. So they told me that my job was to be a paintbrush so that you guys can feel the energies from this painting, or all those paintings, that most resonate with you. And that we then do these activations so that the energy not only resonates with you, but that the painting begins to act as an oracle tool. It starts to bring inner peace, if that's what you're asking for. It starts to bring a sense of, I know who I am. Now, how would you know who you are? None of you look exactly like him, but there's energies, the energies of courage, brave, like I wouldn't mess with him. He knows what he's here to do. He carries a very high light, that blue beam light, that blue ray is extremely high and celestial. But he has that courage, that stance of no harm is going to be done to people around me. He's a protector and a defender. If you're attracted to this one, that means that those are the qualities within you that you want to develop. And so we do activations, which is extra. They're called art activations. We do it at home on Zoom with the painting in your lap, and you actually run this energy from here through the being and activate this energy so that you start to infuse your own self with courage, confidence, bravery, masculinity, whatever those energies are. And a lot of women, by the way, I thought only men would like this painting, but a lot of women want those qualities too, to be brave, courageous, and bold. To know, he's not going around saying, who am I, right? It's clear, he knows who he is. And I want you guys to start to know that you're here to make a difference on the planet. You're here to be a rule breaker, many of you. Honestly, that's in your contract. To upset the system, to be a virus in the system. You are on target. Yes, and that's what you're doing. You are on target. So you're here to be a disruptor in the system, and one of the ways we're disrupting the system is to bring light to the entire planet, to all the dark spots. All right, so my time here is almost up. My booth is right down the hall, M50, what am I? 35. M35, thank you. I love myself. Joan! Now, whenever I say something or do something I'm upset with myself about, I actually start singing Joan. So, and you guys too. I'm going to hear you in the hallway. I hear people singing their name. When you come by my booth, if you don't stop, sing your name.
Okay.
All right, so we're all about raising your vibratory frequency. I am Joan of Angels, joanofangels.com. You can check out the art. All that art over there is 10% off right now. You can find out about your soul essence portrait, which is an individual portrait that I do for you, which is only your energy, no one else. And I show you sort of what comes through of like 10 or 20 different sides of you that are other aspects. And we pick the one that really can go on your wall so that you never forget who you are. Why? Because we're in a planet that forgetting who you are is the name of the game. I'm in a planet that remembering who we are is my goal. It's my mission. It's one of the things I love to help people do. So I do soul awakening readings. I do everything is like, let's wake up your soul. Let's wake up who you are. So who here feels a little bit more awakened? Anyone?
Anyone?
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay, so let's end it with your name, and then we're going to give a big clap. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Oh my God. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'll be at my booth. Come talk to me. I love you all.
Thank you.